Welcome to another morning edition, nice and calm, everybody's sleeping, of the Week 9 preview for your Black and Gold Dynasty League. We got the shirts on, we're ready to go. Big matchup for the Steelers this week. Go Steelers. Gotta beat those Ravens. It's a big game for us. Everything's getting pretty close in our own league, as it does every year, it seems like. The only team looking to pull away is the ARG at 6-2. He's facing off against Slaughterhouse. I'd say the matchup's more important for Slaughterhouse, as the ARG could definitely afford a loss, but I think they'd feel really good at 7-2. Over in the Gold Conference, though, we got two 5-3 teams, one 4-4 team right in the middle, and two 3-5 teams, keeping it all within 2 games. That's anybody's conference at this point. It could go really quickly. A lot of rough bye weeks this week for everybody. That's not just one team taking suffrage. Raging Hard Tons is pretty much, I think, the only team looking to be at full force this week. So let's move on to our previews for the week. I got to pull up the thing first. So I'm going to waste about 20 seconds trying to do this because I should have done it first. Jesus. All right. First up, we got Fat Morte and Raging Hartons. Fat Morte at 1-7, taking on the Hartons at 3-5. Fat Morte looking to lock up that number 1 spot this week, but they got Melvin Gordon back in the lineup after 2 weeks without him. That's not going to help get them the number 1 spot, but it comes with a tough Seattle run defense matchup for Melvin Gordon. There's also a possibility he doesn't play, but I'm pretty sure he's suiting up. However, they have numerous wide receiver bye weeks going on, including an Alshon Jeffrey bye week, causing them to start behind the good Mike Evans. They still have him and Cooper Kupp in there, but Jermaine Curse, Curtis Samuel, Taywan Taylor, all cracking the starting lineup. Those are fine wide receivers, and I like them as prospects, but as far as starting on a week-to-week basis, I don't see a lot of points coming their way. And like I just mentioned, Raging Hartons is about one of the only teams coming in at full force this week, getting Ezekiel Elliott back off the lineup, to back off the bye week into the lineup, to pair up with Alvin Kamara for one of the best running back duos in the league. And lastly, if you pair that up, or trio that up, with really good matchups this week. They got Latavius Murray going against the 30th ranked Detroit running defense, Crabtree against the 24th ranked Pittsburgh passing defense, Adams against the 27th ranked New England defense, Woods against the 28th ranked New Orleans defense, and Graham also taking on the 27th ranked New England defense. I think this one's going to be pretty lopsided. I'll give it to the Hartons convincingly. Next up, we have the ARG versus Slaughterhouse. Could be a battle for the lead in the Black Conference. ARG, like I said, could afford the loss, and I know Slaughterhouse would definitely feel a lot better with the win. For ARG, big bye weeks are Odell Beckham and Zach Ertz, so they'll be streaming with Ed Dixon this week, hoping to get one more good week out of him. And some great matchups as Tyreek Hill and Jarvis Landry face off against their respective terrible defenses. Again, I mean, he has Tariq Cohen, Kareem Hunt, Mark Ingram, and Emmanuel Sanders, who I'm not sure what his rank is, but I guarantee he's a wide receiver 1 this year. And Kirk Cousins at the helm. That's a tough team, top to bottom. It's got to be the best team in the league. Their record reflects it. The points reflects it. They're going to be tough to beat this year. For Slaughterhouse, they'll be led by Patrick Mahomes. And improved by trades, he has Aaron Jones with Ty Montgomery getting out of town, freeing up some passing work, and Cortland Sutton definitely getting improved looks from Case Keenum, if he's still starting there. Who knows? But, yeah, Demaryius Thomas is out of town going to Houston. That'll definitely give Cortland Sutton a big boost in value. So he's got Cortland Sutton, Michael Thomas, Brandon Cooks, and wide receiver. That's all pretty great. And Phillip Lindsay, Aaron Jones. I think a big game from Kenyon Drake would give him a really good chance at this one. But I'm going to give the prediction to the ARG. Hopefully, Slaughterhouse will be able to have Leonard Fournette back strong for Week 10 after they have the bye. Next up, we have the Flying Spaghetti Monsters versus Robert Downey Jr. Both teams 4-4 in the Black Conference, really jockeying for position. I know I like that the Slaughterhouse and ARG are playing each other because that means one of them has got to come back down to normal. Hopefully I can win this week and get a little bit closer to the top of the conference. My team hasn't been producing like I'd been hoping, and some unfortunate bye weeks this week have me not too optimistic, as I have David Johnson and the hot Marlon Mack on a bye, in addition to Wendell Smallwood, causing me to start Jalen Richard, I believe is how that's pronounced, on Thursday night. I think he had an okay game at best, but nothing great. A good game out of George Kittle gave me a good start, though. Follow that up with Deshaun Watson and James Conner, who's just been lights out. He has a terrible matchup against Baltimore, who's been shutting people down. But Julio Jones, DeAndre Hopkins, Devontae Parker's in the lineup. I like his talent if he can get in there, and if Gronkowski can start. I like my chances to put up a lot of points this week. Chicago against the Bills, that could be a 20-25 point defense start this week. For Robert Downey Jr., they're the other team at full force. The only player they have significantly still on the bye is, surprisingly, Dez Bryant. I don't know. It's bye weeks like every week. I just think it's weird that he's always on the bye. I seriously don't know why he's not getting signed somewhere. It's kind of crazy to me. You'd think he'd be able to play football. But Robert Downey Jr. gets Aaron Rodgers to lead the team, and a decent... It's like a group of just average running backs, but together they could put up decent points. Lamar Miller's been getting a little hotter too. Oh, sorry, James White is not average. James White's been putting up about 20 points a week. He is very good. And the new addition of John Brown to go with Deshaun Jackson, getting more looks from Fitzpatrick, hopefully, than he was from Jameis Winston. Not that he was doing terrible, but he definitely did better with Fitzpatrick under the center. And lastly, we got Kelsey as a big X factor in this matchup. Hopefully he can go tit for tat with George Kittle this week to even it up for Robert Downey Jr. As far as prediction goes, I'm going to go with... Ooh, this is a tough one. I'm going to go with Robert Downey Jr. Julio doesn't have a great matchup. He's due for that big week, though, where he just wins the game single-handedly. I'm really curious to see what Amari Cooper can do in Dallas. He's got a tough matchup against the Titans, though. So I got a lot of tough matchups this week. I'll give the slight edge to Robert Downey Jr. As the prediction has it. They have it 1 point in favor of Robert Downey Jr. So a close matchup, but we'll see who wins. Next up, we have Steelers at 4-4 versus Resting Bitchface at 5-3. This could be for the lead in the Gold Conference, as the No Bad Juju is taking on the Snarl. With a loss from them, I don't know how the tiebreakers go, but again, super tight conference going on there. Steelers have rookie Naheem Hines, who's been putting up a good amount of points on a bye, but Nick Chubb hopefully will be getting a good workload now that Hyde's out of town, or with Hyde out of town, and he's playing against the porous Kansas City Chiefs defense this week. Added in addition to that, I got a drink this week, guys. I don't know what you drink at 5 in the morning, but I drink wine. Couple that up with the number 1 and number 3 wide receivers in the league. Oh, this is my wife texting me to probably shut up. Oh, my dog's going crazy. So, real quick, I'm going to give it to... Steelers, as Resting Bitchface has Saquon Barkley, AJ Green, and Marvin Jones, who should be getting more looks now with Golden Tate somehow out of town on the bye. Steelers have a tough matchup with Big Ben and AB going against Baltimore, but like I said, they got Adam Thielen and AB, number 1 and number 3 wide receivers in the league, and a big week from Nick Chubb. I'm going to take the Steelers in this one. Lastly, We got no bad juju against the Snarl. No bad juju sitting at 5-3 going against the 3-5 Snarl. For Juju, so many teams this week. Rough bye week. He has Andrew Luck and Joe Mixon on a bye, with the lackluster Royce Freeman and Sony Michel not. Sony Michel's been looking good, not lackluster, but they're both not looking great to suit up this week. Sony Michel's more like a 50-50. Add on to that, Eric Ebron also on a bye, causing them to start David Njoku. But Njoku, who hasn't been doing so great this year, has a great matchup against Kansas City. For the Snarl, there's an uptick to Duke Johnson with Carlos Hyde getting out of town. Hopefully they get more passing work now with a new offensive coordinator, Todd Haley, out of there. We'll see what happens. They need to go back to their old ways to where Duke Johnson was getting about 6 to 8 passes a week. And that'll be really great for the Snarl backfield, which is already very strong, led by the duo of Todd Gurley and Christian McCaffrey. However, at wide receiver, they got Tyler Boyd and T.Y. Hilton on the bye, and Ingram on the bye at tight end, streaming Chris Herndon. I think the wide receiver buys are going to push this one in favor of bad juju. Snarl they have Todd Gurley and Christian McCaffrey. I don't know. The more I look at it, the bye weeks might hurt bad juju actually too much, as they got DJ Moore, Traquan Smith. Sammy Watkins is a great wide receiver, but he's just so up and down in that offense. You never know who's going to be hot. And big week from Kenny Golladay, I would imagine, although he is going against the Vikings defense, playing against Xavier Rhodes, I would imagine. I'm going to say bad week from Kenny Golladay, even though he gets the boost in targets. So I'll say Snarl on this one and see how it goes. There's your 12-minute morning preview. I'm going to go calm my dog down. Good luck, everybody. I'll be back in 6.5 hours.